Hello and welcome back. Today we've got another £200 worth of 10p's we're hunting through, looking for those alphabet 10p's. Ideally we want some 2019 dated ones. We've still not completed the 2019 book. We've got 6 to go, but we do have A, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L and M, N, O, P, R, T, U, V and X. So any of those last 6 would make for very cool finds, but the 2019s are so low minted, so hard to find. We started a new 2018 book. This is our 3rd 2018 book, which we're making good progress in. We've got A, E, G, I, K, M, whoops, Q, V, X and Y. So plenty still to get for this bag. Let's get into the coins and see what we find today. Okay then, whilst the hunt is ongoing, I'm going to be going through some of the comments recently left on my videos. As of uploading today's video, I will be at the Royal Mint tomorrow, Sunday the 25th of February, so if you want to come along and say hi, or you're planning to come along anyway, or you're in the area, feel free to. It's great to meet up with some subscribers. Right, we're going to start with Lee, how do I pronounce that? Gilbert. I think it's Gilbert. Says, could you point me in the right direction to find a correct list of all commemorative coins in circulation? Okay, so a couple of places I would point you in the direction of. There is the Royal Mint itself, which has the mintage figures of all the circulating commemorative coins and the definitives as well, the non-commemoratives too. So that is a really handy tool. There's also the website I use most often, Numista, which if you watch my Sunday videos you'll have seen week after week after week my using it. It's a bit more in depth in terms of it's got all of the UK coins, not just the circulating ones, the non-circulating ones too, but you can filter them, and I'm sure there's a way to switch it just to show you circulating coins. So that's again something I would highly recommend you looked at. Anthony Beveridge says, what is the true value of a genuine Kew Gardens worth, please? Hard question to answer, purely because, and you only have to watch my videos for a few weeks to see that the price ranges tend to vary from time to time. It also depends where you're buying it from. Some places, so if you're buying it from Facebook, it's probably going to be a cheaper way of doing it, because if you look at eBay have selling fees. If you're buying from a company, the company will then have their own costs of sales they've got to cover, staff costs, insurance costs, building costs, things like that, postage costs, well, although they're all going to have postage costs probably, but yeah, so it depends where you're buying it from. I would, if I had to value it could be anywhere from, I don't know, I think 150 is probably a bit too cheap, maybe not for Facebook, but I don't keep my eyes on buying from Facebook really very often, so I think 175 to maybe just north of £200 is a reasonable price range. But as ever, all that glitters is not gold. If you see ones listed for £20, probably not real Kew Gardens, so just be very, very cautious, and if you're purchasing one, make sure you've got all the provisions and backups and safeties in place in case there's someone that is trying to pull a fast one on you, because you don't want anyone to get caught out. Right, Michelle Trugill says, I have a Pride 50p. Is it rare, as I've not seen one before? So the Pride 50p, it's not going to be a rare coin. The mintage figure, if memory serves, was 5 million, which puts it in the realms of the 2018 Paddington. So they will eventually become less common, but with that foundation of 5 million having been minted for circulation, it's not a coin I would anticipate getting to be one of the rarer, really sought after desirable coins, like say the Jemima Puddle Duck for instance. But so the problem is with new coins, it takes a little bit of time for them to get evenly spread across the country. If you consider back in 2016 and then a couple of years later with the Shakespeare trio of coins, I remember when the guys up north were finding tons of Shakespeare comedies, and that's purely because there must have been a shortage of £2 coins up north. The next one's out of the Royal Mint, or the next one's out of whatever to the cash centres, must have been Shakespeare comedies, because they're the ones that all landed up there. There was a period where we were finding lots of Navy centenaries down in the south, and again it must have been a case that there was demand for coins down in the south, and the next ones out of the Royal Mint were the Navy centenaries. So over time, obviously, it gets filtered around people spending them, travelling them, going on holidays, different parts of the country, being paid into banks, paid back to cash centres, moved around the system that way, that they get much more evenly distributed. So there may still be places where the Pride 50p isn't hasn't fully been circulated. We may not have had all of the Pride 50p's put into circulation yet. There might be some left in the Royal Mint long store. We don't know. In fact, that makes me think that is a really interesting idea, that the mintage figure is important to know of a coin, but what proportion of that mintage figure has been put into circulation is almost even more interesting. If you look at the new definitive 2023 Atlantic Salmon 50p's, it seems that 5 million are going to be minted, but 500,000 have been fast-tracked out into circulation. So I'd be interested to know now, or at various points, what percentage of that 5 million has actually made it into circulation. Interesting thought. That just comes to me, so thank you for the question. Planting that seed in my brain. Right, Kev Cox says, question: according to Change Checker, the Britannia definitive £2 coin has a mintage of 13.65 million. Consider I've never seen one, and you don't find them that many in entire bags, none in this video. That figure, surely this can't be right. Well, not necessarily, for reasons that we've covered. So I don't know if you mean a specific year. I can't remember what the 2020 and 2020? No, 2021, wasn't it? 2021, 2022? Yeah, Britannias were minted for circulation. I can't remember off the top of my head which years it was now. I've confused myself, but the last 2 years that they were minted for circulation, it would seem that they haven't made their way into our change yet. Again, they're probably sat at the Royal Mint in their long store waiting for that next batch of demand to come out to require those Britannias to be pushed out into circulation. That obviously hasn't happened yet, but the mintage figure, once it's confirmed by the Royal Mint, I say you can trust it, but if we look back to the Great Fire of London, that had they released a set mintage figure, and then later on they had to reduce that, and we're not quite sure why that was, but who knows. But the Mint have confirmed time and time again, as of obviously now, there is no intention to take any of those coins that are in the long store waiting to go into circulation and melt them down because they have Queen Elizabeth II's portrait on it, and replace them with King Charles III's coinage. There's no plan to do that. They don't want to do that. The King doesn't want to do that. So unless that changes, yeah, we've got to wait for them. We've got to wait for them to filter out the Royal Mint long store. Right, Blitz Ace UK says, I was under the impression that PVC wallets / albums and coins don't mix well for storage, usually needing mylar coin flips or similar before going into something with PVC. Now you're totally correct. So the books that I use in the videos for the £2 and 50p coin hunt, they are PVC pages, but I've always said that those albums are fine for sort of your medium term storage. I keep them in those books for up to 5 years, and then I take them out of the books, I put them into mylar coin flips, and then put those into albums that can house the flips for sort of long-term indefinite storage. But for the purposes of filling a book for the video, for the short period of time that we will be in the grand scheme of things filling that book, a PVC album is not the end of the world. It's the same with collecting stamps. Lots of stamps were collected using stamp hinges as a bit of glue that sticks your stamp to an album page or whatever, however you're storing it, but they fell out of fashion because they damaged the stamps over time, but they did the job. They protected the stamps, which are now kept in lighthouse books and whatever. So a PVC album is perfectly fine for the short term, but yeah, you've got to think, if you want to fill your book and keep it like that permanently, then yes, probably not those books. They're not the ones you want. Right, Multi-Doctor Death, my goodness, says, there are lots of people listing steam locomotive coins as rare because of the two gaps in the edge pattern. I would assume that that's the case, because there is always going to be the next nonsense story about rare and valuable coins you can find in circulation worth a fortune that aren't quite the case. We see it time and time again in the past. I remember Battle of Hastings was doing the round. It's worth £63,000. I wish. I've got hundreds of things. They're not worth £63,000, otherwise I would be on my Malibu beach house sunning myself in the glorious weather, but no. So I can see what you mean by that, by the edge inscription of the steam locomotive. It doesn't completely go around the whole coin. So yes, I can certainly see someone has taken that £2 coin and has looked at it and gone, oh look, there's a whole bunch of it missing there. But yeah, and then sticking it on eBay, or if someone has already stuck it on eBay for £10,000, then someone else will find and go, I've got exactly the same. You know what? I'll put that for £9,000. I'll put that for £10,000. It is one of these self-fueling monsters of nonsense where if someone with not a lot of knowledge will just follow what has been done before, and then will self-propel the problem. And the more there are, the more that the newspapers, the online articles are going to print that, because what is a catchy headline, isn't it? The £10,000 coin you can find in your change for £2 or 50p. You should be looking out for this coin. That's going to grab attention. That's going to get clicks, not just from, I guess, probably not from coin collectors who know what they're doing, but from people that aren't coin collectors or have a vague understanding that there are some coins that are worth money. We've seen it. The company I work for, the Britannia Coin Company, our sister company RWB Auctions has just recently sold a Lord Kitchener Mule £2 coin. That's one. On the obverse it doesn't say £2, and we've been inundated with people messaging us and contacting us saying that oh, I've got the Lord Kitchener £2 coin, is that will you sell it for me? I think it's probably worth £1,000 like the one you sold as well. And it's just people that haven't totally read and understood. It has to have this bit, this error, it has to be the mule, it has to not say £2 on the obverse for it to be worth that money. But as I say, a little knowledge is very dangerous, isn't it? But we've just got to keep talking about these things, sharing information. And when I'm always conscious when someone that isn't a coin collector comes across this article that makes them think that their Benjamin Bunny is really rare and valuable, that there is a nice way of letting someone down, not just saying, nope, you're stupid, next. There's educating someone in a positive way, because it only takes one interesting coin for someone to then realize, oh, there's lots of different commemorative coins. There is a whole hobby around this, and they could become a coin collector. They could build their knowledge. We all start from no knowledge and absorb information and learn information and whatever. So I think there is a positive way to share knowledge, understanding, experience, and not put people off that potentially could turn into coin collectors. Anyway, enough of my soapbox. We'll get it back to the coins now. Well, there we go, our finds for today. Apologies, I'm not quite sure if at the intro my right microphone was recording, so that might sound a little bit off, but it should be right now. In terms of our finds, no alphabet 10p's, but we did get a Gibraltarian 10p. It's not the nicest of condition, but it's a find nonetheless. A lovely one from the Isle of Man, the lighthouse at Chicken Rock. And then the first find of the day is a Ferrero Rocher 10p. So yeah, it's just a sticker. It's not too exciting, but there are lots more letters on this one that we could have been filling the book with, but no. Kind of an intriguing little oddity. You'll have to let me know in the comments if you found an alphabet 10p this week. Where did you find it and what did you find? It's always interesting to see and reassuring that they are still out there. Links as usual in the description of the video across to my coin collecting Discord server if you want to come and join that. There's also links to my other social media channels, the PO box address if you want to write into me, and of course a link to the Britannia Coin Company YouTube channel, the company I work for as my day job, so please do check that out too. All it leaves me to do now though is thank you so much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed, and I'll see you next time for more coins. Bye!